Good morning. Good morning. Let me just see here. We got to get this going. Hopefully that connects here. It does. Perfect. Let's go live on Instagram. Just going to get some music playing here because everybody likes some good music. Okay, now I'm just going to create an invite chat thing here. Copy this. How's everybody's morning going so far? There's nobody here, but that's okay because it's coming. It's coming, that's for sure. Type that in there. Go to here. Copy link. Let's create a little Instagram video here. Post a story up. Oh. Yeah. Discard. Good. What is going on here? Good morning, you sleepyheads. It's 8 o'clock. Hopefully you're up and at 'em. I don't want to do that one. Let's just do one more. Good morning. It is morning, and hopefully you're up and at 'em. Hope you're enjoying your coffee, doing something restful this morning. And speaking of restful, you probably had that's terrible. Let's see here. People tuning in from Facebook. How's it going? Where's the comment section? Come say hi. We're gonna be talking about all things tenants this morning. And I've been working on a video for YouTube just in regards to tenants and like what to look out for, how to vet them properly. And the whole, I guess, idea is that like there's just not enough information out there. Maybe it's just not information that is known or well known enough. And so I wanted to take kind of a different approach this morning and just talk about tenants. Love them, hate them, because I do think it's going to happen in most people's, I don't know, lives. They're either going to be renting off a landlord, or you're going to be essentially having a tenant that lives in the property. And so I just got to do quickly set up a link here on Instagram so that you can get invited to this call that I'm on right now. And so if you want to talk all things let's see, all things tenants, let's talk. Perfect. So as you just see my little post there, we're going to be talking about tenants today. There's just a lot of questions that I had when I went through this tenant problem that I have. Maybe you heard about it, maybe you didn't. But if you have any questions or concerns about tenants or what to look for, hop on this call. It's going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things about tenants. And so without further ado, I put a link to the podcast where you can actually go and join me and have a conversation in person if you want. Or you can just go to the live stream and you can watch there. We'll see you soon. All righty. So, get that out of the way here. And I don't know. Do you have any questions? I know it's who's watching right now? So I'm always curious. Who is watching? Let me just put this over here. Sorry, just give me a second here as I reposition some things. But let me know, would you have a tenant in your house? Or do you have a tenant in your house? I'm curious. How's that going for you? Or if you're like, absolutely not, never going to do that in a million years. I'm genuinely curious. Oh, and they left. That's okay. So let me just load up a page here. So I was built out of, like I said, I got a new video coming. I'm currently editing it right now. And there's just a bunch of things that I would be wary of. And so let's just start from the beginning, right? You're thinking about getting a tenant in your property, right? And so it's like, what do you actually look for? I don't know. It's a great question. What would you look for? Maybe let me know in the comments here while I open up my sheet here. What would you look for in a tenant? What would you look for in a tenant? And so, obviously, there's nobody here, so I'll just continue on. There's a few things, right? And so, the biggest thing I always find is just like you want to have some questions, or just, well, you want to have questions, but there's just a few like staples that you just have to do, right? And so, one of them is going to be, call their employer, right? And so, you got to find out where they work. Maybe it's a call or an email, but even email is kind of, it's okay. Just depends on what kind of organization they work for. If it's a bigger organization, then like, yeah, you know what? Maybe an email's not that bad. Like maybe they work for a university or something. It's like, okay, it's kind of hard to like fake that, right? And on top of that, you want to like, you can even potentially go down to their place, right? So let's say they work at a mom and pop shop. They don't have an email or something. You can go there and be like, hey, does so-and-so work here? How do you find them? Like you really want to get an idea of like an unbiased, or as much as an unbiased opinion as possible, right? And then the next one I want you to do is run a credit check. And so there's, I think there's a website called Single Key. I haven't used it personally, but like the tenant that I just got in here, they had their own already. And so it was super helpful, super handy. And I didn't actually have to, I didn't have to grab one myself. And so that's always a good thing, because the only thing is like, you just want to have an idea of like, how reliable do they pay their bills, right? And a good credit score is obviously going to dictate that, like, you know what, hey, these people, they do have a good history of paying off their bills. And because if they miss some, then obviously it goes down a little bit, and then you got to decide, where is good. And so what's interesting though is like what is the Canada government here? Let's see here. What? Let's just Google this right now. What is a good credit score? So a good credit score is 660 to 724. And so keep that in mind when you're looking at people who have, who are coming in trying to give you a credit score. This is what they're saying. This is Equifax saying that's a good credit score. And then TD saying the same thing. I guess I could share my screen. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Hold up. Screen one? No, screen two. That's what we want. See this one. Add stage. Boom. Look at that go. And so good credit score. And then Single Key. Not now. So this is one of my my property manager buddy. He had suggested this one. Single Key, Rent with Confidence. So create a fee account. I'm a tenant. Owner's hub. Rent collection, rent guarantee. International credit check. So this is just a great way to I think it's like $30. The biggest thing though is you do need their, you need their approval when doing a credit check. So the next thing I have on my list here, is do a criminal record check, right? And same thing, I would say it's not always it's not always needed. It just depends on how I don't know, your gut on this one. Does it need to happen? And the biggest thing is the problem that I have with my tenant, it would have revealed a lot, but I think you can also do a court registry order or court registry check as well. So that would reveal a lot of it. So what I would do is probably okay, let's go to the CRO. And if that reveals some information, then it's okay, maybe I'll do a criminal record check as well. But we'll get into that in a bit here, so don't worry. But again, the important note is that both the criminal check and the credit check, you're both going to need to get their approval. Essentially, you can't just pull one and then away you go. So that's important. And then I also like talking to their current and former landlords. It's something that I think is super, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just beneficial, right? You want to just see what's going on in their property, where they live, the condition of it. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to potentially go there. That would be the best case scenario, that you could go to their property. But you probably won't get that. And so the next thing, like I said, talk to the landlord, right? Some of these references they give you, you just want to negate the potential of getting a bogus reference, someone who just shouldn't really be, I'm just turning on this music, shouldn't really be a reference for them, right? So, and then another one is check their ID, right? And so this is going to be important for the court registry, but you just want to make sure they say who they are. In my case there, they just think their last name was different, and so it's oh, well, that would have been nice to know. And so another thing is when you get some sort of driver's license, you can see where they actually live as well. And so what you do with that is up to you, but you just want to make sure the names they're putting on the application are the names for it's the same people, basically. You just want to make sure that they're the same, because like I said, in my case, they gave me the wrong name. And then more important, this goes into the BC court registry, where you can go online and search someone's name. And so that said, I just want to show you BC court registry. And so you can literally go here and search people's names online. It's actually beautiful. And so, traffic and criminal, let's just put my name in here. Let's see what comes up. And so what I will say is you want to do partial? Well, I know my exact name, so it's not a big deal. But let's say you don't have their driver's license and you don't have their official legal name, then you could try and figure out provincial. Yeah. Let's just leave them all. Let's see what happens here. I'm gonna expose myself here online. Nothing. Clean slate. Let's go to the next one here. search appeal. That doesn't apply. So this is where you actually want to go. I was just messing around with the other one. Like, this is where you actually want to go. Right, exit partial. And like, this will show up. I just get this right. This will, oh, Blue Jay. Peter, buddy. Sorry, I just got my other chat open on my other screen here. How's it going? Should hop on the call this morning, man. Go to my Instagram while you're there, actually. So if you want to hop on the call, let me know. It'd be fun to chat with you. And I'm just talking about tenants and stuff because I'm hoping to educate people just a little bit more on all things tenants and what they can do. And so this is actually, oh, I did that wrong, I guess. 26 PL. And so here's, like, I won't click on this, but like, basically this is the court ordered stuff that happened to me. And so we won't stay on that page for too long, but it's just goes to show that you can search people's names, and if stuff comes up, you just want to be wary of those people. And so let's just head back to, where's my page here? There we are. Let's head back to here. And so that's going to be the BC court registry here, right? You're going to want to do that. And then I like this one a lot because, like, look at their car, right? It gives you insight into just how they maintain their stuff, right? Like, have you ever hopped into like a buddy's car and like wow, this is this is dirty, right? Or like you see other people's cars, right? Like you're walking down the street and you're like, wow, they got stuff everywhere. Like wow, right? And so you just want to be wary, and you want to like gather information from all sorts of spots. And this is one of them, right? You go look at their car, you see how clean it is, because oddly enough, it's like how clean they keep their car or how dirty they keep their car is going to be how they keep your place. It's just a fact, right? Prove me wrong. Let's just see. And so, and the next one, check their social media, right? You want to make sure that that you do your due diligence, and you just do one step further. You go look at their social media. You see what they're doing. You see what kind of person they are, the rants, the parties, the lifestyle choices. I kind of put some notes here, right? It's a great window into who they are, especially if you're thinking about living beside them or under them, right? You just want to know, like, okay, is this person got pictures of them partying every weekend or every day or whatever? It's like, well, chances are that may come to your house, and once they're in, there's a lot that you have to go through in order to like kick them out. If you're lucky, right? Because if they keep paying, anyways, it's another whole story, but stuff to think about. And so there's also a lot of forms online, which is the next part, paperwork day. And so I'm just going to hop on to RTB, no, BC RIP, Residential Tenancy Agreement. Here we go. So this is where all the agreements are. This is where you know, there's going to be a lot of documents here. Where is it now? I lost it. Hold up. Month to month. There's the RTB one. This is one that you're going to be initially doing. And really, there's a couple documents here, right? So you got the RTB one. And this is obviously you need this. Like, but there's one thing in here that I want you to be very cautious of. Is this one right here. They put their email address in, right? And the idea here is that, sorry, just had a, I don't know, you ever get that idea? Like you get an idea, like a business idea or a thought, something you're wanting to work on. And I just had this thought. And I think I'll talk about it some more too, is having like a tenant seminar, like 3 times a year, where we just talk about tenants, landlords, what you can and cannot do. 3 times. I like that. Okay, sorry, got distracted there. This right here, this spot right here, I want you to make sure you fill it out, right? I want you to make sure that they put their email address in here, because it's very important when it comes time to servicing documents. And it says see section 16 below. We'll get into that in a second. But you want to have the ability, doesn't mean you have to do it all the time, but the ability to send notices or disputes via email. You want to. And so what does section 16 say? So let's scroll down here. All right, so that's the service of documents. If you provide an email address in this agreement, you may be given or served documents related to the tenancy agreement or to an application for dispute resolution at the email address provided in this agreement. Depending on this type of document, there may be time limits for further action. If you provide an email for service, you are responsible for monitoring the email address on a regular basis. Dang, right? And so if you give, or if you get their email address, now you're allowed to send emails to these tenants for disputes. And it's like, it's really beneficial when you have essentially like you're out of town, right? You have a property or you're away or something happens, you can just send it by email and it's done, right? It's not such a big deal that way. So what else on this thing can I say? It's pretty straightforward. Like, get the generic information here of who they are, type of agreement, right? You do month to month, you set a time, and then you do month to month afterwards. And then if you want them vacated after a certain spot, like you have to agree and give a reason. They both have to sign off it. And then rent, this is pretty straightforward. Damage deposit and pet deposit. So this is an interesting one too, is that like when do you go get, sorry, I got something in my eye here. When do you go get the damage deposit or the pet deposit? Right, and ideally, well, not ideally, you get the damage deposit or pet deposit and the first month's rent when they sign the contract, the day they move in. That is, in my opinion, the best. Now, obviously, you could do it ahead of time. That's no problem. But like the last, you just don't want to get them move in and they tell you, well, hey, I can't get the security deposit because of blah, blah, blah. It's like set the expectation right off the get-go, right? You're moving in, you're paying security deposit and pet deposit. Now, I'm curious, do you guys have any questions about tenants so far? There's a lot of information. Maybe you're a tenant yourself, or how do I protect myself, right? There's just a lot of things that go into tenancies. And yeah, as someone who's been doing them for the last 5 years and just went through quite the ordeal with the last one, I just want to make sure you all know what to do or how to protect yourself depending on what side of the fence you're on, right? If you're a landlord or if you're a tenant. And so, then here's another one actually, is the addendum at the bottom here, right? There's going to be a spot for an addendum. And now what you can do, let me just see here. Where is it now? Let's see here. Coach house rental. We're going to put that over there. Let's see here. Okay. So I'm going to give credit where credit's due. This thing right here is from the property manager that I know. If you need a property manager, just let me know. David, he's my go-to guy. Because he actually helped me through this entire process, but he gave me this. And obviously there's some tweaks that I had to make and whatnot, but this just adds a whole bunch of information that, this agreement lacks, right? So it doesn't talk about vehicles, doesn't really talk about like condition of the property, right, what do we got here? Sign or sublet, damage deposit are due and payable upon signing tenants agreement. Boom. Utilities, right? Now, some of this stuff may be altered depending on what you, like what type of property you have or what's being rented. Vehicles, moving, security, smoking and drugs, crime-free, storage. It's basically just giving you more things, like more protection. So if something does go wrong, you're giving them more reasons to basically kick them out in the eyes of the landlord to the tenant, right? Approved vehicle. You don't want just any vehicles showing up there, right? So this is all really good information here. What else can I talk about here? Set the expectations, right? Yeah, and so let's just say they don't pay. They don't pay the damage deposit. You know, there's forms essentially, or they're late on rent. That's probably going to be more the realistic one, because you're like, you've done your due diligence. You're like, I'm getting that damage deposit first day they move in, right? And I'm just trying to find, where are you? Disputes. Come on now. Excuse me. Actually, let's back up just a sec. Moving conditional inspection. This is a big one too. Okay. What you want is to basically have an agreement upon what the condition of the property is when they move in, right? You want that. You want to be like, hey, there's a crack here. Okay, we both agree there's a crack there. Or hey, this appliance is a little bent or it's got a dent here. Okay, hey, we both agree that that's the case. And then they want you to sign off on it. And so, so this is RBT 27. Let's click on this one. Right, and so it's got a whole bunch of things here. Like what I've done with the last rental or person that moved in my rental is just like, hey, here's this thing. Go walk around. If you find something, write it down, and then I'll come back and we'll look at it and we'll talk about it. And so that's, to me, is a great way just to like, we're both on the same page here. We both agree that this is wrecked, or we both agree the place is in immaculate condition. And so that when you move out, I expect the same, if not better level of condition of property. And so it's a good point. Get one of those too. So the big things, like when you think about when you're moving in or getting someone to move in, you got the RTB number one, which is the official contract. You've got the email signature signed in so that you can send them notices. And then what else? The addendum that we just went over, you have that as well. And then this one, the condition inspection report. If you have those three documents and the spot sign where I was talking about, and you get your money right off the get-go, then that's like, you're like A1. You're off to a good start, right? And then if you back up a little bit and you screened them for all the things that I talked about, like the chances of you having a problem are slim, or slimmer, I should say. Just put it that way, slimmer. It's not zero, just slimmer. Anyways, back to this thing here. And so, just want to talk about the why am I residential tenancies? Solve tenancy problems. Tenancy forms. There we go. Let's go. Tenancy forms. There better be all here. There we go. So here's the page for all of the tenancy forms. There's a lot. There's a lot. I don't know all these. If you want to, go check them on yourself. But there's two. So let's see here. Where are you? RTB 30. Landlords and tenants. I don't know. You find this interesting so far? I guess you'd only find this interesting if you're in this moment right now, or in this problem. Okay. This one's important. Let's click on that one. That's the same one. Actually, we're gonna need. No, I don't need that one quite yet. Where are you? These two bad boys. There's this one and this one. And so this is 10-day notice to end tenancy for unpaid rent. And so you can't serve this on the day that they give rent. You got to wait a day. Kind of makes sense, but you just got to wait a day. It's the day after. And so basically you give them 10 days. So it's like, hey, you haven't paid rent. You failed to pay, $2,000. I'm invoking this thing and I want to kick you out. Now it's like, you gotta, serve it by serve it by this person in person, right? Or you leave a copy. And so this is going to change how it's been deemed received, which is another thing that's important we can go into later. But what I will say, let's say hypothetically, the tenants, they don't pay. You give them this notice on the 2nd. If you read this, the fine print here, this is for the tenant. This could lead you to being evicted from your home. You have 5 days to pay rent or utilities to the landlord or file an application of a dispute resolution with the tenancy branch, which is a $100 fee. If you don't reply on the required time limit, you are presumed to accept the tenancy ending and must move out of the rental effective by this notice, right? And so that's important for them to know. But what's important for you to know, you could hand this notice and then 5 days later, it's like, oh, they didn't pay. Or 5 days later, they pay. And then this notice is like it's never happened. Right? So it's something to keep in mind. Because then it's like it can just get really vicious, right? You send this notice because you're mad. They pay it, and it's like, well, there's nothing you can do. So, good luck with that one. But anyways, this note is for notice of unpaid utilities. Like I say, you put the amounts here, and then you determine how you sent it. And it matters, and so we'll get into that a little bit later. But this is the other one, a 1 month notice. Right, so now they have 1 month notice and tenancy, and they have basically 10 days receiving this dispute to basically correct the action or file their own dispute. And so let's just see here. Yeah, so these are all the notices here, like reasons. And the one I had was this one. Non-compliance with an order under legislation after 30 days of tenant. No, that is not the one. That is, here it is. The Residential Tenancy Act security or pet deposit was not paid within 30 days as required by the tenancy agreement. And so you have to wait 30 days. Then you can send this thing. But then you got to wait 1 month or to let them leave. But they have 10 days. And so it's just like, yeah, it can be a bit of an ordeal. Lots of time given. So there's that one. But like I said, there's one more, which is this one. And so this is proof. Now, this is very important because you need to give proof to the RTV, Residential Tenancy Branch, that you carried out, or you basically you have proof of service. So it's like a witness. And so you basically select which one. So if it's part of the RBT 30, you do that. If it's the RBT 33, you're doing that one. Or if it's any one of these, you need to have proof. And so it's very important that you have proof when you're giving out these RB 30 and RB 33. Now, again, if you have any questions throughout this entire process, or you're like, Rich, what the heck? Back up. Just let me know, right? I'm just rambling here talking about things that are important. But if you're joining this call and it's not important right now, you want to know something else, just let me know. I'm happy to direct the conversation that way. But this thing is important because you want to have you want to prove to the RTB that you did this, and then they want a witness essentially as well. And so you fill all this information when it was served, right? You can actually even get like their the tenants to sign it, which is probably the best thing to do, but it's not necessary, right? Like, I don't know, I think about handing a notice to somebody and it's like, hey, I'm kicking you out, but can you sign this thing too? It's like, they probably won't, right? And so what you need then is a witness. And so I would just bring a witness right away. And a witness can be anybody. It could be your neighbor, your friend, basically someone you know that would witness this happening. And so what you do is like, yeah, I witnessed Richard in person serve this document, RBT 30, or it's like eyewitness, Richard attaching a copy to the door or place where others reside and describe in special details. And then you go in here and you describe the special details. You talk about what you did, what you didn't do. Hand receipt, mail, registered. So we've been talking a lot right now about like how things have been received. And so there's a calculator online. And so just to back up real quick, this RTV 34 needs to be accompanied by these documents. And it's more like let's just say they move out. You hand this document, RB 30, they move out, fine. They have this 33, they move out, it's fine. But if they becomes a problem or dispute, you're going to want to have this thing handy and ready to go. So that's why I say just do it right away when you hand out the notice. That way, you don't have to like, oh, well, I didn't have it. or like, hey, can you actually sign this document that we had, 10 days ago? They'd be like, no, go pound sand. So that's why I'm like, you need to have proof of service right off the get-go. Now there's a calculator. Where are you, calculator? Where are you, calculator? Where are you? Tenancy calculator right there. So you got a couple of good calculators here. You can only increase rent so often. Deposit calculators. Yeah, you're supposed to give them interest as well. What is the timeline for disputing an end of tenancy notice? So, say you give a 10-day notice. And this is both for like tenants and landlords, right? You say you gave it today. How was it done? Well, I did it in person. Well, you have until August 7th. So you have 5 days, right? And that coincides with the 10-day notice. The 10-day notice gives you 5 days. Now, if I were to change this, there you go. It's 10 days now. It's an extra 5 days. And so I think I know this, but like the 7th, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it doesn't include business days. And so that's something to keep in mind too. Now, if you did it on the door, not sure. No, start today. Trying to find this thing here. Let's go back one here. Let's go back one. So there's some good calculators here. 10-day notice. Say it's today. In person. And so this is what I was alluding to earlier, is that, oh, buddy, we got a freelancer here just blowing up my chat. Didn't even see that. You found some problems with my YouTube channel. Beauty, buddy. I love it. You and about 1,000 other people. So appreciate you reaching out, man, but just not interested, man. Not interested. And so caution, it's important to allow enough time for the person you're serving to receive the document before a deadline. And so if you deliver that notice in person the same day, if you deliver it in person, it's deemed received that day, right? And then email to an address provided for service. So this is where I was talking about. If you have an email they provided you, which they should because you're going to tell them to, it's 3 days later. And then leaving in a mail slot or mailbox. Basically, it's 3 days later as well. Fax. I don't know who's doing that these days, but that is fax as well. Posting on the door and otherwise obvious place, 3 days. Registered mail, 5 days later. So that's the biggest one. And so it's like the registered mail, like the email really comes in clutch when like you're not like right there. Like in my case, it's like just behind my house. So email, it's neither here nor there, but it's like if you're across town or you're in a different city or you're whatever, it's nice to have the ability just to like, here's an email, boom, sayonara, have a nice day. So that's to keep in mind. And so if you were to submit this 10-day notice, let's say you submitted it today, right? And then you got to give them 3 days notice. Well, this is applying for it. It's not really the same because it's probably going to be 6 days. Yeah, that's what it is. There's just so much information I could tell you right now, but it adds up. And so, buddy, just stop the freelancing, buddy. It's not going to happen. Okay? You're blowing up my channel. Not going to happen, okay? And he left. We're good. We're good. So, where was I? Back to this. It's important you know this because the RTB and all that stuff is not going to like, they're going to want evidence. And they're going to want to like make sure that you're playing by the rules. So, here's a calculator. It's not too bad. Like if I disputing a notice, let's just see here. Just want to try one more thing. Important. Resident, the RTB must receive the application fee on or before this date. If you're mailing an application, allow 5 business days for the application to arrive. To dispute a notice and tenancy is better to apply online or in person. If you have missed the deadline due to unexceptional or exceptional circumstances, an application to extend the deadline may be submitted along with the evidence. Forgetting to check the mailbox and not knowing timelines are not acceptable reasons for missing an application deadline. The fee to apply for dispute resolution is $100. That's what I had to pay. You may qualify for a fee waiver, but you must submit an application and proof of income, blah, 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 if you're not eligible. Important reminder, if party files an application for dispute resolution by the timeline, the tenancy continues until the residency branch arbitrator makes a decision. If not, and the tenancy starts the day stated on the notice. Beauty. So there's just a lot of information that I didn't know and that I wish I knew. And so that's really why I wanted to come on here and just talk about this type of stuff. Right? Let's just see here. The tools under the tenancy, you can also use these tools under tenancy of manufactured home. If you're renting a pad, a manufactured part, you're served a 10-day notice or 1 month notice of tenancy. If you were served a 12-month notice, contact period. So, lots of good information, but it's just sometimes hard to go through it all. But anyways, hope you found that useful or helpful or interesting, because I know I did when it was a problem or when I really wanted to dig more information in there and just find out what was going on because it was a problem at the time. And so if it's a problem for you, you can by all means watch this video. It's not going to have everything in it because it's just, reaching the top of the hour and I'm got other things I got to do. But if you are wanting more information or curious, I'm probably, I hate saying probably, buddy. Yeah, you're getting reported. But what I was saying is that I think it's going to be useful to have a seminar, a tenant/landlord seminar. And I'm probably going to be putting that, again, hey, word using properly, but I'm going to be thinking about doing it like 2 or 3 times a year. Just having a seminar. Yeah. But on that note, thank you for all who stick around. Like that was like nobody except this freelancer Rarif guy. He was blowing up my chat there, trying to get me to like do whatever you want. Yeah, your YouTube's not that good. Okay, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. But anyways, hope you have a fantastic day. I'm gonna be working on some cool stuff. I'm working on that tenant video. So if you are curious on how this all works and you want the full detail, full breakdown of my story and how it can potentially help you and all the things to look out for, what to do, the process, all the way to the bailiffs and kicking them out, that's going to be dropping here in the next couple days, I would say. So appreciate you watching. Appreciate you sticking around. Appreciate you rewatching this if you are right now. And on that note, have yourself a fantastic day.